Hello, dear. So today I, Blessing, and
Shidera.
we are at the foot of Saint Theresa of the Child Jesus,
Yes, we
the
are.
youngest doctor of the Catholic Church, a very beautiful saint.
Yes.
Saint Theresa of the Child Jesus and the Holy Face, Saint Theresa of Lisieux, and most importantly, a very young woman who loved God a lot. And we're just here to talk about her life and her story and see what we can learn from it. She lived a very distinct kind of life, a very beautiful kind of life, not similar to most of the saints we know. So I just here to talk about her and see what we can get from her story.
So Saint Therese was born in Alençon, not in Lisieux. She is known as Saint Therese of Lisieux because her convent is in Lisieux. But she was born in Alençon in Normandy, northern part of France, in 1873 to the family of Louise and Zéline Martin. She and her dad, they were very close. Her dad was a watchmaker, and other people would always tell him to open his shop on Sundays so that he'll make more money, but he would say no, that he can't do that. He's a Christian. So he was very devout, and he would always take Therese and her sisters to the Blessed Sacraments, after the Mass. And I believe they most probably joined, other societies within the church, before they entered the convent. Yes.
One fun fact, let me just drop it here.
Yeah.
Saint Therese, the parents are like saints.
Yes. Yes.
Saint Louis and Saint
Zélie.
They are like saints. And another crazy fun fact is that like the 5 sisters were known,
Yes.
which is very much ridiculous. And
Yeah,
it tells
5 of them.
Yeah, 5 of them became nuns, and it gets to say how much like a good Christian parenting can really, really go to influence
The children.
the children and the
Yes.
family as well, because that's like another holy family that we have. And Saint Teresa was like the last girl out of the
Yes.
5 girls.
Yes.
So it's the dad and the mom,
They really
influence the life of
spiritually.
their children spiritually. And
Yes.
and I think one of the sisters is already on the path of getting to be a saint. One of Saint Teresa's
Yes,
sister.
I think it's Celine or Leonie.
Yeah. And then about the mom. Now, when they were like growing,
Yeah.
at the age of 4, something very tragic happened. The mom died, and at that point, it was a very big, sad moment for Teresa,
Therese.
because she loved her mom so much,
Yeah.
and the death of her mom broke her. She was able to go through the entire process of her mom leaving them, because her sister Pauline stepped in and became like their
Like her
second mom.
Yes.
But then at some point
she left.
she left and entered the convent. And I think that was like one of the biggest breaks she had, where she was so mentally down.
Yeah.
It made her to become sick, and I think something
She was
happened.
very sensitive to, she was a very sensitive girl, very fragile. She could get hurt easily, she could get pleased easily. So she was very emotional. So her mom dying, it was a very big problem
For her.
Yeah. So
At
then
a very young age.
at a very young. Then her sister, whom she later took as her second mom, left her, to join the convent. So that too, it was a very, very bad moment for her.
And I believe it was at that point where she was like so down. And another crazy thing was like she was being bullied in school because she saw herself as she was very weak. And I think that's what she accepted as she was growing up.
Yeah.
That she was weak and she didn't have like enough strength in her to maybe give God the way other saints that she looked up to gave God to. And I think it was at that point where her sister left and her mom died that she had a very beautiful moment with Our Lady. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so she was sick, like very sick then, and I believe she was maybe even about to die or something. So there was a statue of the Blessed Virgin in her room, and I believe from her story, it's like she saw the statue move, but in a way it was a vision, sha. So she saw the Blessed Virgin, and then she was healed, as in miraculously, instantly. It wasn't like gradual, but instantly. So yeah. So and even her story, the story of a soul, the book she wrote, it's her autobiography. So the beginning of the book is she wrote, "To you, oh Blessed Mother, or almost cherished Mother, I dedicate this book." Something like that. I'm just
She dedicated
paraphrasing.
to Our Lady. Like she started her first chapter with dedicating Our Lady, and she lived a kind of life where she saw our mom as her mom. If you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
She saw our mom as her mom, and at some point in her life, she made this very beautiful statement. She told Our Lady that, "I'm lucky, I'm so lucky. Like I have you to look up to. I have you to call up to. Have such a beautiful mother to and queen to look up to.
Yeah.
But then you didn't have anyone, and I feel like I'm so lucky. I'm luckier than you." It was a very beautiful relationship she had with our mother, and it gets to see how, this thing they said to Jesus through Mary.
Yeah.
It was the way it's even as a Catholic, as a Christian, the fastest way, the easiest way to get to the heart of Jesus is through the mom, because it's the mom that knows.
It's the mom that can give us Jesus.
Yeah, that can give us. She knows how to care for her son. She knows how to nurture for him. She saw him through his death and suffering, and she was able to recognize that at a very young age, and she was able to utilize the opportunity so well and had this profound devotion to Our Lady.
Yeah. And okay, so I'm trying to go back to before her mom died. So there was a time when she was very sick, when her mom was very sick, Teresa was like, "Oh mom, I love you so much, I wish you could just die." And the dad was like, "Why would you say such a thing?" And she said, she was so precious, she didn't mean anything evil.
She was very little.
So what she meant was that she wished that her mom could die so that she would go to heaven and be with the Lord forever, So, and then she finally died. So in a way, her prayer was answered. Yeah. So, and even her mom and dad, they initially wanted to be monk and nun, as in to join the religious life before they got married. Yeah. So the dad went and it didn't work out for him. The mom went, it didn't work out for her. So they kind of happened to meet each other, and then even in the first stage of the marriage, they didn't want to
have kids.
They didn't want to consummate the marriage. They still wanted to
be pure in the marriage,
sexually pure, and so on. So, but other people pressured them. They told them, "You're already a couple, so you have to
have a child.
Yeah, have children. Yeah, do what couples do." And yeah, you can.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you can continue.
And they made a statement like that since they were not able to become. What do you call them?
Since they were not able to be religious.
Yes. They were able to get into the religious life.
Yes.
And they want to give birth to kids that will enter the religious life. And 5 of their children entered. Very incredible.
Yeah.
And another thing, it goes to say how much the role of, because sometimes people see marriage and family, they don't see it as.
I think their statement was like, if they couldn't dedicate their whole life to God, they will raise children who would do that, who would do so.
Dedicate that, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes.
And make them saints, kind of. They raise children.
That will become saints. And it goes to see the role of family and marriage, just as Christ has instituted, because somehow we are losing what marriage actually means, what family actually means. But as Christian families, the most important goal we have is to raise saints for God. That is the biggest goal that every parent should have in their mind. How are you raising those children? How are you raising them? How is their spiritual life? How is their life in general? Are you raising saints for God? I mean, He gave you children that are as pure as anything, and He wants you to give them back to Him just as He gave you. So yes, it's just to put it out there that marriage is a vocation, just as priesthood and sisterhood is a vocation, and it's high time we start taking it serious and understand the fact that God has given us these children and these kids to raise up saints for Him, for the kingdom. So yes,
Saint Therese, at the age of 14, decided to enter the convent. So she went to Rome when she followed some people who were on a pilgrimage to Rome. She went to see the Pope. She asked for permission to join the order. Then the Pope told her that she's too young, that she has to grow. Is she sure that she wants to be a nun? She said yes. And then the Pope told her that if it is God's will, that she'll be a nun. However, for them, as in for the church, they can't let her, they can't allow her to be a nun because she's too young, that she should come back later. So
normally she would not have even left, because she was hell-bent on convincing the Pope to just say the yes, so that she was get in. And she kept on crying and pleading. It was just when the Pope they literally had to carry her out of that place before she was able to go back.
Oh, really?
So two big guys came to carry her out. She refused to leave.
Interesting.
And when she
came back the following year.
Yeah, she came back, and then by the following year they called her to be part of the Carmelite nun. And from then to the age of 24, she never left. For 9 good years, she never left the convent. So what was her life like while being inside the convent? Yeah.
Okay, so her life in the convent was very challenging because she had some problems, some issues with the nuns there. So, like most religious, or every religious says, the life in the convent is not all glamorous and peaceful and all, because it's a place where they form saints. So the people go there with their virtues and vices. So you encounter the beautiful, the ugly, the good, the wicked, and so on, the tall, the short, So she had problems with the nuns. She also had some psychological problems or spiritual problems. She went through something called the dark night of the soul, that John of the Cross describes as dark night of the soul. So it's a period where one feels like God has left them, and the person feels depressed and start losing hope in God and so on. And so it's in that period that God forms the person. If the person is able to persevere to the end, he will be formed and made more righteous and holier and more steadfast in the faith. So, and then her father died when she was 21. That was also a great, very bitter experience for her. So, and her sisters were not as close to her as they used to be before they entered the convent, because in the convent, even if you enter the convent with your brother or your sister, you can't maintain that intimate relationship. Yeah, so you have to be a sister or a brother to everybody. Yes, equally. So, so in the convent, she wrote a book called The Little Way. So this book was, in this book she talked about how she regarded herself as, lower than most people, that she was little, she couldn't achieve great things. So instead, what she'll do is to do little things with great love. So that is the little way. So let's take for instance, after the nuns have eaten, she could just take all the plates and wash in secret without telling anybody. And in the morning, she could sweep the whole place or something, without telling anybody. So all these little acts of love that she did in secret. So all these things constitute what she calls the little way to heaven, the little way to holiness. Little things we can do with great love. So because she understood that as a nun who lived that as a nun, she was not able to do great things like going on missions and going to defend the church against heresies and all. She had to pray for missionaries, So she, not just missionaries, but priests in general, because she admired the courage of priests. So she spent her most part of her life praying for priests.
Basically, I wanted to say something very important, which is the entire and what made up the life of Saint Theresa.
Yeah.
The one thing, if I could describe her in one word, it's just love. Forward. Yeah. One very beautiful thing about her was that she didn't see herself as this great person. She saw herself as this weak person that could not do anything. She didn't believe she could do a lot. She believed that she was weak and she needed strength she read about saints, she read about the religious and people that are doing a lot of things for God. And at some point she was like, nah, there has to be other ways, Lord. I cannot do all of these things. These things are very difficult. I cannot do them. You have to show me another way. And she had to go within herself and understand that even in that her weakness, one thing that stood out was God's love for her. Because we as human beings tend to forget sometimes how much God's love envelopes us. We tend to forget that, okay, He knows our weaknesses, He knows our shortcomings, but then He still decides to love us without holding back. And that's what Saint Teresa tapped into. And I think that was just the summary of the entire life she lived. And there was this very funny story where she was like that, oh Father, I cannot really climb the mountains the way I cannot really climb as high as
as
the
other great saints did.
But then I can raise up my hands and I know that you're going to carry me up. She was the perfect depiction of childlike love for our Lord Jesus, and I think that's what sets her apart. And most importantly was her relationship with Our Lady. She had this very
great love for Our Lady,
beautiful relationship with Our Lady. And when they say to Jesus through Mary, we don't really understand that the best way for us to get close to Jesus, or the best way for us to love Jesus the way He wants us to love us, because we have to love Him the way He wants, not the way we want. The best way to love Jesus the way we want, He wants us to love Him, is through seeing Him from the eyes of the mother, because she nurtured Him, she cared for Him. Because it's true that eyes of Our Lady, because she nurtured Him, she cared for Him, and she saw Him even through his biggest suffering, and she was able to understand that at a very little age. I mean, at the age of 11, she was telling our Lord that when she was receiving her first communion, I was in just one then, and I could imagine somebody that was that young thinking in that kind of high level, telling God that, oh, I am weak.
That's why she's the doctor of the church.
Yeah, that's why she's the doctor. Oh, I am weak, but I know that I don't want to get discouraged by my weakness. That level of self-awareness, acknowledging that you're weak, and then accepting the weakness, and then telling yourself that you're not going to give into this weakness because you believe that the love that God has for you can be able to control it. I think she was able to understand that, and she didn't really go out of her way to to do great things. Her life was even, I remember something that the nuns were saying when she was dying. They were like, what are we going to write about Saint Teresa? There was nothing so remarkable about her life, but then if you look closely, you'll be able to
you see the little things
a whole lot from the life she lived. And then
little way.
Going on to the way she died at a very young age.
She died at the age of 24 from tuberculosis. So she suffered greatly. You know how terrible tuberculosis
can be.
Yeah.
Even the entire isolation and everything.
Yeah, and there was, I think there was no medicine for tuberculosis then. Yes.
That was 17th century or something.
19th century actually, just around that period. So the medicine has not yet been provided. So it was it's like HIV now.
Yeah.
So for her then, she knew she was going to die. And she accepted her fate,
Give up our suffering for the cause of others who have probably not found Christ or are living their way. She gave up her suffering for something, and that's something to learn, to give up our suffering for others. Sometimes we are suffering and then we are oh, take away this suffering.
Yeah.
But we have not even like gone to ask ourselves, like, I mean, this can be for like a good cause. This can be our Lord, allowing us to partake in the big suffering of the cross that He suffered. So it's just more of like, telling us, encouraging us to like join Christ in our suffering and give up our suffering for the sake of others who probably need salvation.
Yes.
That was like, and she told the Lord that, she said that the Lord will take away the suffering when He wants, and she suffered for up to like a year, and then she died on a beautiful night between Holy Thursday and Good Friday. That's like a very beautiful time to die, like joining Christ with the whole Lenten season. So what was that one thing for you that like stood out for you, like you took to heart from the way she lived?
Okay, well, it's the little way that I would say I understood to be her central message, the central message of her life. So the little way to holiness, doing little things with great love. Yeah, so even if you are to achieve great things, you start from little. It's like what Jesus said, that if you cannot handle little things, nobody will give you something great to achieve, to handle. Yeah. So, yeah, I think. So another thing I would like to say is that we could compare Teresa of Lisieux to Martin Luther, in the sense that Teresa was very conscious of her sins, know. She wanted to be very pure, very righteous, very holy. So she was terrified of her sins. But then she didn't take it the wrong way, She didn't say, okay, since I am this sinful, let me just leave the whole matter. Let me give up, I don't think Christ can heal me. So that was what, you could say that was what Martin Luther did. Because of his own convictions, his own beliefs, he was so afraid of his sins that whenever he went to the confessional, he would spend like hours there confessing every single sin that he committed. Yeah, so because of that, he said, that works cannot save us. Since he thought that, he had to be so perfect without Christ that he has to control himself from every sin, that he wasn't able to do that. So he thought Christ was not telling us to, cannot possibly tell us to like live a holy life because it wasn't possible. Yeah. So he changed the whole theology, because of fear of sinning. So, but for Teresa, she handled it wisely. She confide, herself to Christ. Yeah, she wrapped up her life in the hands of Christ. So she just abandoned herself to Christ and to the Blessed Mother.
Deny yourself, leave yourself in the hands. And we are doing this in the cathedral,
which is named after Teresa.
Saint Theresa of the Church.
Yeah, and just behind us is Saint Teresa's College, which is also named after.
So if you have, yes, this is it. There is just so much to learn from her, from her simplicity, her obedience, her total submission to the will of God, her love, the strive to keep on being holiness. The best that you can be for our Lord.
Yeah,
there's just so much, and it's just another to remind you that this journey of sainthood is never an easy path, but it's something that we all can do.
Yeah, we're all carrying our crosses.
We all can carry our crosses and try as much as possible to live a holy life, and one day we'll be there with Him up in heaven.
Yeah. So if you want to learn more about Teresa of the Child Jesus, you could look up her books on the internet. You can download the PDF or watch some videos. So there's the story of a soul, and then there is the little way. So I think those are the two basic books that she wrote. There are some other manuscripts, but those are the two basic
books that she wrote.
Yeah.
So see you in our next video.
Yeah.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.